And we're back for our final match of the day in Starladder China. HGT takes on LGD.cdec, and it's a battle of the haves and the have-nots. HGT currently sitting on top of the standings, tied now with Newbie at 4-1. The standings have not been updated since the games began today. And then on the other side of the bracket, we've got LGD.cdec 0-4 and hoping to stave off, well, Oblivion. A loss here, and they're pretty much done. With that said, I'm LD Beyond the Summit. I'm joined here today by none other than Blaze. Blaze, do you think LGD.cdec have a shot? Do you give them any hope?
I mean, there's always hope in matches like this. They have nowhere to go but up. They have the discipline of a team that has been around for a little bit now. Like when we first started seeing LGD.cdec a little bit before the TI4 Chinese qualifiers, they didn't really seem like they had much synergy, but we have seen a lot of improvement there. And obviously, they individually have a lot of skill to be the top of their own individual in-house league and kind of bring in that potential there. But still, HGT, they are so damn strong right now. Like, with just looking at the storylines of this Starladder tournament, it's actually been pretty good for the, not necessarily underdogs, but the less heard of teams. Like, IAP Execration in the SCA League has been coming out of nowhere, just do amazing things, just pull off some amazing results for a Pinoy team that's really incredible. But HGT, they only have really a couple of well-known players, and yet the results obviously speak for themselves. They've been playing extremely well. They have some impressive playstyles and some really great way about thinking about the game. So even in this draft, just opening up with Centaur and Viper here to kind of control the Razor a little bit, either outrun him or slow him down in order to just really bring in the axe. But we'll see that the draft commence, and LGD.cdec, I definitely think that they're going to have to pull out some surprises if they're going to try to take this win.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me to see this Doom picked up as a response to Centaur. Generally, we look at Centaur as an answer to Doom. Like, he dooms you, and then Centaur just stampedes, and that hero lives. And if you doom the Centaur, then your core isn't affected. And so generally, we see Centaur as a reply to Doom, not the other way around. And it makes me wonder what LGD.cdec have in store for us, and how they're going to, even just how they're going to lane this one will be curious to me. We saw the Jungle Doom the other day. That was a total train wreck. In one game, very effective in the other, and well, we'll just have to see which kind of Doom it's going to be in this one.
Yeah, it was Kanko on the Doom that was extremely effective, but obviously not going to have it this time around. We'll see what he picks up and how active he gets early. He definitely likes to play those kind of anchor-type heroes, though. Like, he does jungle a bit, but he also plays heroes like Razor in the mid, so with the Viper being online, that might be the one that they want to send his way. Beyond that, of course, ZSMJ. He did play the Viper last time, but he loves the farm, so if they do pick up a #1 in carry in addition to the Viper, then we could definitely see him on that hero instead. But for now, the bans are mostly stun-oriented for the side of LGD.cdec. They're already worried about the initiation from Centaur and the follow-through from Shadow Shaman. Already a lot of control, and they don't want to add fuel to the fire by giving away an arrow follow-up or even a Ravage initiation. So it's smart bans, but all the same, the Shadow Shaman came through, and the Rubik and Ancient Apparition were the heroes taken out by LGD.cdec. I think that means that, does ZSMJ play Morphling? Because those are easy Morphling counters.
Yeah, he plays some Morphling.
Okay.
Saw him play it 2 days ago, I think. He's also played the Viper for the team before, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure how they're going to look to lane this one, but I'm thinking that ZSMJ's hero may not have been picked up yet.
I definitely think Morphling is like, I mean, when you look at those bans, there's no hero that you think more than that. Weaver is a good counter to Ancient Apparition, even though Rubik is good against him. But the hero that is countered by both those heroes hardcore is absolutely Morphling.
Yeah, and guys, I think there might be some confusion, because I see a lot of people asking, where's Vici versus LGD? That match is not happening now. The schedule was flipped around today. This is our final match for Starladder China of the day, and we already had IG versus, or no, sorry, it was LGD versus IG earlier today. So yeah, no Vici versus LGD here. Not sure why people are expecting that match right now, but there might have been some schedule changes. I think I saw some discussion about that earlier. Anyway, Clockwork picked up by LGD.cdec, so a nice hero to potentially control the Centaur in fights and prevent him from getting his initiations off. Gives them good scouting towards the Roshan pit, which will be essential in dealing with the Shaman, already a good hero to take the Rosh, but generally we just don't see Clockwork very much, and this is starting to remind me of that game that we saw where Red was the offlane Clockwork, and we had the rather unfortunate Jungle Doom performance. I think it's the same draft thus far. Not the same team, but the same draft.
Yeah, that actually does seem about right, and uh, we'll see if they can execute a little bit better. Obviously, they have a lot of great tools here. The Clockwork pinning in the anybody that's trying to be stampeded out. They're going to need 4 staffs on top of stampedes to disengage. But HGT, they go for another very interesting pickup here, and I'm loving that we actually get to see it now because since the beginning of this patch, I've been toting about the strength of Tusk, the power of Snowball, and I really do feel like he's been an underrated hero for months now, but in this position, Chinese meta has really picked him up, and to the point that against MMY, we saw it first banned out. So yeah, here we're going to see it in the second phase to go alongside the Shadow Shaman, and I do believe this will be a support Tusk. So a number 4 position for him, and try to enable him to be mobile, be active, and even reactive to a degree. But it's a great against the Doom in particular because the target gets doomed. You just put him in the snowball for a few seconds there and kind of wait that out a little bit without taking damage. And obviously there's some synergy between Tusk and Centaur.
Yeah, great synergy there and good initiation and would make Suns fan very happy, I'm sure. Shadow Demon the pick for LGD.cdec, and it does make you think, well, what are they going to follow this Shadow Demon pick up with? It's generally, not to say it's a bad support, but it's pretty rare for us just to see Shadow Demon as like, oh, that's a good support this game. Like, we'll see that from, say, Skywrath Mage picks oftentimes. Like, oh yeah, Skywrath Mage is just good on his own. But with Shadow Demon, normally it's good because it combos well with something else. Either a carry that benefits from Disruption, potentially as a way to counter Chronosphere or certain very powerful ultimates. But oftentimes, just to go with like a Morphling or something along those lines. And with Mirana banned, we're not going to see Disruption into Arrow, so... yeah, what are you thinking here, Blaze, with the Shadow Demon? What do they have planned?
I think they're going to go for the Leshrac again. Like, we have seen it from them before. I don't think I'd like it because of how front-loaded the burst damage is on the side of HGT. Like, Centaur and Tusk can 2-shot that Leshrac if it is picked up, and that creates some issues. But I don't know. I would just say, like, they banned out Tinker because they thought that they might actually put, like, the Doom in the jungle to start, but I think that's a losing strategy as well. You're just going to not have any presence in the lanes, and you're going to open yourself up to getting ganked pretty hardcore by the Shadow Shaman and the Tusk roaming. But yeah, they could go for support and try to go for like a stun follow-up like Lesh or Lina. Other than that, it would be the Jungle Doom kind of gets set up by it a little bit as you get the 2 heroes just collaborating to bring somebody down really quickly. So I don't know. He's okay with the Razor just outright, setting up things like Static Link and that sort of deal, but I'm not feeling it without a really good synergy in the early game.
Yeah, there's Disruption into Cogs, which we used to see. Oh, you know who it was? It was... who was it? It was LGD Int. LGD Int, they did a Shadow Demon Dazzle Clockwork tri-lane. So you disrupt, you cog them, and then you heal bomb them, and they're just screwed. It was way back in the G League, like their first tournament as a team. This was the original LGD, and not the one that had formed after TI3. So, I mean, that's a possibility. Doom and Razor could be your solos, and it is a pretty strong try. But no, they'll go for Leshrac. Certainly a fine choice. And, well, Wisp picked up by HGT.
Yeah, that's the one that surprises me the most. One of these heroes has to be core, the Shadow Shaman, the Tusk, or the Aya. We have seen core Tusk before, but I don't know, the scaling's very interesting.
I'm almost never a fan of core Shaman. I just feel like that hero is way too easy to gank. And you're up against Shadow Demon Lesh, and Clock, and Doom. Amazing gankers. It's so risky to run him as a core. And he doesn't really benefit from the farm. Well, first of all, even if he has a good start, he can still easily be ganked. It's S-Plane. I think that is going to be a support. So maybe it's a Wisp as a core. S normally plays support for them, right? Is that right?
I'm not too sure there.
Honestly, dude, these games are just coming at us so quickly. I feel like I'm just casting them, and then my memory is completely gone. So,
what do you think about a core Wisp, though? Building up a lot of early farm, a lot of good HP regen items. They obviously don't have to worry about the Ancient Apparition to prevent the mech.
You know, the other possibility, Blaze, is they're just doing a role swap because Kaka's the Wisp player, so that could be it as well.
Okay.
But, Core Wisp, I've seen Dendy do it once. It was actually pretty legit. He went mid, he actually won his lane, but that was more of an outplay, not just a better hero matchup or anything like that, so... It is nice you get a fast level 6. Wisp uses runes quite well as a mid hero. But also generally can't lane that effectively against anyone, and it would require the supports to come and assist. I think, especially if you're up against like a Razor or something. That's not a matchup you're gonna win per se, but you can make up for it elsewhere on the map, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. I have run a decent amount of core, just pub play solo Midwest, but it's a lot of fun. The mobility of the hero is actually quite astounding. You can obviously go for your own kind of quick ganks, relocates once you get level 6, and you get the tether movement speed against Razor, which would actually be a pretty big deal. But I don't know. Well, against the Shadow Demon Leshrac Roam, there's still a lot of potential for you just to get completely screwed. There is a window where you can dodge the Split Earth with the tether, but most often Creep Wave is not going to be obliging there as far as positioning goes. So, yeah, I definitely think that it is going to be the core Wisp, but we'll have to see how he plays it in order to see how actually effective it's going to be. I like the mobility. I mean, they got Snowball, Stampede, Relocate. They're going to be able to go wherever the hell they want and kill off whoever they feel is the primary target. But we'll see if they can survive long enough to get the mech, and from there, how it goes.
It used to have like even better synergy with Snowball, right? Because your Snowball move speed used to be based on like the hero's move speed. Is that correct? Or is it only Tuskar's?
It still is, actually.
Okay. I thought it scaled with... Oh, well, I guess you can tether to him, so he'll still be a bit faster. Right? Alright, well, let's introduce our teams now. We've got HGT and 4-1. Still in great shape to go to Kiev if they can continue this progress, despite their earlier loss to Newbie. Icy on your Centaur. Kaka will be playing the Wisp. Has the boots up. Pretty Hall also boots up on the Tuskar. That puts in the mid lane. ZSMJ is the Viper. And then safe lane for now by himself is S on the Shaman. But yeah, it's still kind of hard to tell with the boots on both supports. And Shaman bought the Courier and wards, I believe. Yeah, he bought the wards. So it's either the Wisp or the Tusk.
Yeah. I mean, Pretty Hall always plays kind of that semi-carry role set with the Mirana and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways they can make it work, but I think IO might need the farm priority in order to stay alive throughout the fights.
Yeah, there's a lot of burst on LGD.cdec here, a lot of nuke damage in particular. And well, with that, we'll run through their opponents. LGD.cdec. You've got Garter on the Shadow Demon. Q will be playing your Leshrac. Looking to scout that rune out. 3-3-3, the Clockwork in the offlane. Going mid will be Maybe on the Razor, and that will leave XH as the Doom going to the safe lane. So it'll be a Doom versus a Centaur. Generally a nice matchup for the Centaur here, although he has started for Boots first, maybe expecting a defensive tri-lane. May struggle a bit more in that matchup as a result. And they're going to chase Ice Shards.
They got him!
They got him. And now they try to disengage with a nice defensive stump from Lesh. The chase is on to Garter, though. Look at the damage from the double damage Tusk. He finds one. He's going for the twofer. He's really starting to lay into Q. He's got Ice Shards and Fort, and he's going for this. He's going all in, baby. Stun. Will connect. He's still going to get the kill. It's a double kill for Pretty Hall to start the game. Kept alive nicely by the Tango regen. Oh, man. What a start.
Yeah, I saw that Shadow Demon's death coming a mile away, but I did not think they would ever go for the dive onto the second one. Q going down the Leshrac. I mean, this is... We've talked about it before. You look for momentum. Oh, no.
Ice Shards. He's still got the double damage, and it finally ends now. The defensive disruption. Buying them time. Pretty Hall can snowball to dodge this. He will. And rolls to a creep next to him, disjoining that killing blow, and makes his way out. Man, what a day it's been. What a week it's been for just ridiculous aggression in Dota. All of a sudden, you know, the gloves have just come off, and not just in China, but in every region. And I think it's most notable in China, just because people expect it to be more passive. And they're going to mid now, but the wraparound's coming. And Kaka's the one you want to focus here. But they're actually smoking towards top, right as the dive comes through mid. Ice Shards will find Maybe, pull him back in, and then look to bring him down quickly. They've got ZSMJ to lay into him. Tether? Well, or rather the Blink Drain, I should say. Still persistent even through that, but the tower will change targets while top lane. The smoke will dispel, and yeah, that's not happening for your Shadow Shaman. This is why you don't generally see the hero get a lane to farm, because he just...
He didn't even get Split Earth there.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
That is why we don't see core Shadow Shaman right there. Perfect example.
Yeah, he's pretty weak in that regard, but that only mildly makes up for what's already happened this game. I mean, you want to start off with the Shadow Demon Leshrac roam and get a huge amount of kill momentum. The Leshrac desperately needs early levels to build up his skills and to get his stat pool rolling, because he only has like a 1.5 strength gain. So
straight back on mid. Ice Shards again onto Maybe. Trapped him in. He's going down again for this, it looks like. Does still the Viper's damage, but Maybe still taking a lot. Snowballing forward, they'll continue pursuit. They've still got poison attack to finish this one off, and Kaka ends up living through it. Again, a kill on the Razor. This Viper is going to have a really good time.
They're both really low, but with the tether heal, they're going to be able to at least get the full mana pool onto Pretty Hall and get a lot of HP on both of them. So, Yeah, this is just allowing them to just be so damn active, and you got to feel for the Razor. Like usually, a lot of people are like, "Oh, we see Razor all the time. Screw that guy." But no, in this situation, I mean, the trial lane middle is real, and the pain of just you don't even overstep, but they make it over an overextension because of the way the shards work. So it's just pretty ridiculous how this has played out so far in the early game. There's that bottle regen. They still have one more sip. That's how strong this combo is in the roaming aspect, and it looks like Doom actually might no. He is going to fall back just in time. Of course, he did have this Absorber Ward, but he still stayed up for a little bit there.
And while that's happening, they are trying to make a play on mid. They smoked an LGD.cdec and make the rotation towards mid, but backups are coming. The Walrus with the big punch is preparing to jump in here, but they've just parked these supports. They're just expecting a tower dive on mid, almost, and looking to counteract it. Though HGT will dodge away from that one.
2v2 in the jungle with the Diabolic Edict involved. Who do you favor? We'll see, I guess.
I think LGD.cdec might get the first kill here. We'll see. Tether's up. They've got the spirits. They're confident to go in. Snowballing forward, but the Wisp is dropping quickly. Yeah, just can't fight against that damage. And now they bring in the Doom. One slash of the sword. And Sims like pretty harsh trapped as well. They bring in 4, and they'll end the infestation in the woods. But it is creating space elsewhere on the map. Your Viper having a grand old time mid. ZSMJ boots up. Already has the completed... the completed Wraith Band, and now can work on towards the mech or the upgraded boots if he wants, and even this safe lane Shaman, who's already on the feed train a bit, is at least getting his level 4.
Yeah, I mean, he's only died once, but he's having to go and farm up easy camps just because he doesn't really feel confident going this far in the lane. When it's kind of breaching into that pallet shift from Dire to Radiant, that's where the creep wave is just too far gone. Now he's going to be able to ether shock the wave, get a little bit of harassment in, but all in all, Clockwork is just dominating in CS, and he's going to be able to rotate a lot sooner. I mean, maybe as catches up in experience. And
like, with no boots, you can't even come near the wave, because Clockwork can just chase you under tower and then kill you with Battery Assault, which he is leveling up.
So in fact, he's not stacking here. I'm not actually sure what he's going to accomplish with that, but either way, he pops the spirits, he consumes a little bit of mana intentionally, so when he uses the bottle, he can fill up an ally.
Look at this, man. LGD.cdec just ping out mid, like right here. They're expecting another rotation coming through, but the supports of HGT have headed towards top. They've decided we've accomplished our mission, and LGD.cdec, ultimately, they're the team running the Shadow Demon Lush supports. If they're not getting things actively done in this stage, they are not accomplishing their goal in the laning stage.
We'll see the double pull come out a little bit here from HGT. They're going to be able to get some nice levels up in the supports, and it's kind of needed because right now Wisp is only running a 1-1-1 build. But Kaka is showing that he doesn't play support all that much as far as like the timing there. He didn't have his stack timing was 10 seconds off. His pull timing was about 5 seconds off. It wasn't really even close to get the chain. So this is just going to end up pushing out the wave a little bit. Might favor if the Shadow Shaman was level 6, but at 5.5, they're only going to accomplish so much.
Now, LGD.cdec are still waiting mid for a gank that's simply not coming. So look at our other lanes now, since we've got a moment. Obviously, that top lane has been a great victory for the Clockwork. Bottom lane going very well for Doom. He's managed to eat an Ice Armor creep, so he can trade blows reasonably well with the Centaur. And overall, I think, considering the absolute insane aggression mid, that it's still okay for LGD.cdec elsewhere on the map. The Razor's keeping up his farm, even against the Viper getting multiple kills mid, and they've got level 6 on Doom now, so there's some kill potential here, working towards a Midas after his Arcade Boots. LGD.cdec are recovering. The only concern is that their supports might not offer what the supports of HGTs do later on this game.
So, we'll see. The tri-lane movement is actually pretty risky here. Even with the Mass Serpent Wards, they have like a decent wave here, and they might want to push the tower, but I think LGD.cdec have a decent response team here. If they can get like the movement up top with the Shadow Demon, get the TP out that way, and they are going to be moving to the tier 2s at least, they might be able to pick up some pretty big kills here, and especially if Pretty Hot overextends.
Yeah, Wisp not the ideal hard hero to go on. Hookshot's going to miss. Well, that's unfortunate. They were scouting with the Frozen Sigil, trying to get some vision on that Clockwork, and it was able to just give them an idea of where he was, along with the rocket he threw out earlier. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Rotation comes in from ZSMJ. They'll Stampede. Going right onto the Doom. He didn't Doom in time, and now he's done for. Double Edge securing that kill. And HGT with the better rotations from cores especially.
Mm-hmm. And that's where these ultimates come in line. ZSMJ and Ices. The Stampede and Viper Strike will enable you to just keep a target locked down to stay right on top of them. They're not going to be able to disengage without a TP, and even then, of course, you have the hoof stomps. So these two heroes collaborate pretty well, and they can find ganks anywhere. Just anywhere the Viper is, they could get right up in the enemy's face and use things like Snowball and Viper Strike to make it so they just can't choose to disengage. So that's where forward momentum really helps HGT's lineup. And as always with a Tusk, you're really looking to snowball your advantage. But we're going to be seeing Leshrac and Shadow Demon at least posturing towards this pole camp. It looks like Tusk is aware of it, though.
Yeah, he sits back for now, and between, just to follow up on your point, between Stampede, first of all, then the Poison Attack, the Viper Strike, and the Frozen Sigil and Wisp move speed, like, you just don't run away from HGT. That doesn't happen. You either stand and fight or you lose, and they're not really... Their supports are very difficult to stand and fight with because they don't have Snowball to disengage. They don't have the mobility of a Wisp to get out of the fight if it goes south, and they pretty much are slow and clunky, and if they don't get the early advantage and start chasing you, they're just going to feed. They're also squishy.
There's a huge smoke coming in mid lane, and there's very little he can do if he doesn't get out of the river right now. Like, if he turtles on his tower...
Stampede, but the hook's going to catch CSMJ. Stampede won't save him now. He'll turn and fight this one out. And with 4 heroes rotating, they'll get the kill.
Yeah. I think that's the one big exception this game is the cogs from the Clockwork can allow them to disengage, can allow them to stay on a target, and kind of nullifies everything that we've seen so far, emphasizing Force Staffs more than anything else. But let's take a look at bottom here as the pause and the disconnects come out.
Oh. Well, Doom's in deep, I guess you could say, behind his tower. Nicey's gonna get the kill here. Ward's also in position to do damage to this tower. Let's see, Shadow Demon TPing in. He might be in trouble as well. Yeah, this Doom is done for.
So, yeah, in this position, I think Icy might go down as well. I mean, they don't have any way to heal him up. Actually, Kaka could overcharge Tether and Bottle, and they actually could heal him up. So I think that would be a really good way to respond to it. The Shadow Demon, I think, is... You said the Shadow Shaman or Shadow Demon's TPing? Because I see the SD TP.
Yeah, Shadow Demon is TP.
Okay.
Shadow Shaman already dropped his wards, I was saying.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe I misspoke, but yeah. That's what I meant anyway.
Sure. And he's got the Disruption Soul Catcher, but that's set up for somebody else. With him being the only one here, since Doom is obviously going to die in like 2 seconds flat, it does mean that he's not really going to be able to change the Icy situation. If Kaka tethers right now, there's no reason... I can't even speak, but and a reason that Icy should not live through this. The bottle regen is 1.5x. It won't break on the damage received by the Centaur, only the damage received by IO, and yeah, he's got 3 full sips available. So nice overcharge. A bottle, a tether play would be able to allow him to disengage, and even though the gank on mid succeeded, it kind of feels like now LGD.cdec are committed to this tier 1 in mid.
Yeah, they're looking like they're going to lose this fight here bottom. And honestly, the Shadow Demon should just cancel his TP if it's not too late. How close is he to finishing that? Yeah, he's got time. He's not defending this, and he'll just be feeding them another kill, most likely, if he comes in. Unless he runs immediately. But even then, there's the Tether Chase and Stampede ready. So yeah, I'm with you. I think they're committed to mid. They don't want to fight this bottom lane. And with level 2 Edict, they can probably get the tower as an exchange.
So I think at this position, Q's actually not going to be going for his ulti for quite some time. Although it was buffed rather heavily, he doesn't have the mana to sustain Lightning and Pulse Nova, as well as 1 stun for a fight. Essentially, if you're going to put any points in Lightning Storm, you want to max it, just because the cost efficiency increases dramatically, jumps damage for a little bit more mana, and it's something that you want to spam out. So in this position, I would say he just needs to go for like a 1-2-4 build, and then start building up the Pulse Nova after, because right now, he's just sitting on brown booties. He doesn't have anything as far as good sustained mana and HP, and so he's not really going to be too close to this kind of lineup to actually get much benefit out of his ulti.
Pause continues, and well, overall, Blaze, I guess we've talked about the fight bottom, but we could take a look at just the general state of the game here. Net worth pretty even, experience slightly favoring HGT. Who do you favor overall this game? Given, like, to me, I'm just worried about CDEC because they've got the Shadow Demon Lesh, and these heroes fall off super hard, but they do have a pretty good backup in the Doom Razor in theory. And right now, despite this death, Doom is still your leader in net worth. So what are your overall thoughts on, like, not just right now, but looking forward 5-10 minutes?
I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to be able to do with the relocate, because I obviously have a lot of global stuff with the Stampede and with the relocate, and that kind of enables pickoffs. Like if you look at it, LGD.cdec aren't going to be able to go for like disengaging blink daggers anytime soon. So relocate should allow them to net kills very frequently, and that means that the Clockwork is that much more under the gun to get kills. In fact, I kind of feel like he's in a similar boat to Shadow Demon Leshrac, where he is fine to be passive for these first 9 minutes now, but now's the time where he really needs to start making sure that his ultis are always on point and he's finding kills, singling people out, because otherwise he won't necessarily fall off, but he won't give them enough, along with the Shadow Demon Leshrac's kind of failures there.
I see he's actually trapped inside the wards. I didn't realize it because with the pause it was a little bit harder to see, but yeah, well, they'll get the trade there. I thought he could walk out of that one, but yeah, it was fully ward trapped. No hook shot. Another rotation from a haste to maybe comes in. Looking for Kaka. They're going to bring their entire team down bottom for this. Gunning for the Wisp. Plasma Field cooling down in 7. Rocket. No mana for it now. He's gone for Battery Sunstead. Finishes off S Tether. Oh, that might cost Kaka's life. He went back in. He's going to pave. And now Pretty Hot rotating through. No Walrus Punch yet. Still getting the kills. The Viper also descends on this bottom lane. So they take the totally opposite approach, man. They bring in their whole team bottom. They give up 3. The Doom, the Clock, and the Razor. All 3 cores. Though they get a bit of a trade, killing off 3 of HGT as well.
Yep, and now in mid, the Stampede will come out, bringing down the Leshrac pretty quick and easy with that Blink Dagger already up on Icy. So, comes back to life, rebounds with a kill in a very short span of time, and it looks like they want more.
Yeah, not really worth it for LGD.cdec, especially with that death. That's 4 deaths for them, and all 3 cores dying. And they didn't take an objective. They could have taken a tower mid, or at least brought it down low, but hey, they went for it, and they just got caught a little bit too far in. These ice shards have been money. Absolute money for them. And now they're looking for maybe. Can they get him? No fishing over the tree line. But they're getting it now from the... Oh, he's trapped. He's caught out. And they'll blink in. They'll stomp him. Garter can go for the defensive disruption. And Icy knows it, so he's going to wait.
Snowball?
Pretty Hall could snowball and stall for a bit. He'll roll out of the cogs and then punches maybe up in the air. Wisp auto-attacking, but damage not being stolen. The Tuskar trying to slow down maybe as he's in pursuit. Plasma Field bringing a couple down low. Not finishing too many off, just the Tuskar for now. And ZSFJ turns and fights with the friggin' sigil still flying high. They'll get another kill. 3 fall. They only lose the Tusk.
Like we said, man, they just can't disengage. Once they commit to the fight, like one hero might be able to escape. The rest are committed, and the slow is just way too much. So they bring down a series of kills. They gain kill momentum 12 for 8, and yeah, they're not even going to need like the relocate to be fantastic now, as they can just kind of death ball. One thing to mention is since they did decide to leave the tower up in mid and try to do stuff down bottom, they're really wasting this Lesh and his Edict. He's put 3 points in it now. Went for this 1-3-1 build and hasn't killed a single tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it really undermines the purpose of running the hero, and I think more than anything, LGD.cdec just did not expect this much early aggression. They were expecting to be the ones who could casually and calmly go for smoke ganks, disruption, split earth, edict, and find some kills with the soul catcher bonus damage, but they were constantly forced to play defense on a lineup that really excels at walking around the map the first 5 minutes and killing off the cores, and they just weren't able to do it. So now they're forced to play the HGT tempo, the HGT game, and they go to a phase of the game where their supports really drop off.
I mean, Bracer Game is going to help Q a little bit in terms of survivability, but it's not going to change much. Relocate will be coming out, though, with the Tusk.
They got a punch. Yep, knock him up, smack him down. Razor back to base. That's a kill on maybe. Easily collected, and now they'll return to mid lane if they want to with both.
They hit the sigil, but they're going to leave it behind. He's just going to be wandering the frozen wastes. But yeah, they're going to be able to push in the mid lane. If they take this mid tier 1, that's the mechanism up for the Wisp, which is absolutely immense. Just a brief rundown of that is that it essentially, if the Wisp is injured, heals the person he's tethered to for 625 HP because of the tether heal as well. But tower, dropping quick.
No real contest as of yet. Shadow Demon moving into position for this, while Pretty Hall and Icy continue to slowly chop away at this tower. Pretty Hall's now into the tree line. They'll tether and try to protect Icy during this time. He was purged, but not enough follow-up to bring him down. This will allow them to disengage. LGD.cdec reluctant to go in too aggressively. If they want to do it, they'll need a hook, and that hook is cooling down for 30 seconds. So HGT continue to push forward. And LGD.cdec, well, at least they've got Doom here, but there's always that defensive snowball to help negate some of the Doom damage, and well, he gets caught up by ice shards, but a bit too far towards the tower to actually jump.
Yeah. The Tusk, by the way, did pick up the Blink Dagger, so being able to choose where he snowballs very precisely, he could easily bail somebody out if they're caught inside cogs with Clockwork. and being the focus of everybody from the outside. Like, Clockwork's job is to kind of create a mini chronosphere here where you just trap the person in and you have 3 ranged heroes attacking from the outside, but pretty hard negates that.
Doom on CSMJ, but he's already retreated out. It's up to Clockwork to track him down. If he doesn't, he's probably going to turn this one. Defensive disruption, buying time, the hook shot in, but it's only on the Tusker who has a snowball out of this, and he's going to continue to roll his way out. Slowly but surely. Yeah, now the snowball goes. They'll still lose a few, though. Centaur turning on to maybe. Double Edge is there. They'll finish off the Razor, but they're all dropping low, and it seems like LGD.cdec, they finally found their momentum in this fight. Tether onto ZSMJ. Can they turn back the other direction? 3-3-3 trapped in cogs. They'll need to use those to retreat. And he'll barely be able to make his way out. So they get 2. They only lose 1. They'll clean up the wards. The tower did fall, and it was not denied. Goes the Shaman's way. And now they look for more. The trade might come now for HGT. Garter on the way out. ZSMJ and Kaka in hot pursuit. And with the Tether move speed, a couple of auto techs, that little dinky cannon from the Wisp, they'll probably get this kill. Yeah, one more auto tech goes the way of the Viper.
Yep, so they still were able to clean it up, even though it wasn't as clear-cut as they wanted it to be. It wasn't the cleanest fight, but that was before the mechanism came out. If they had the mechanism there, then everybody would have been sitting at half HP perfectly fine, instead of almost dying. But yeah, in this position now, they have the mech. The Razor no longer... Actually, sorry, the Doom is still going to be working on that, and... I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to control this Viper when he's got a Wisp behind him and he's kind of running this durability build with the Hand of Midas.
Yeah, and that will give them a little bit more economy as well, as the mech is coming pretty soon for him. Just complete... Oh, relocate mid. Looking to jump in. But they were a bit too late to get Maybe, who had a Shadow Demon park behind him. But even when they're not finding these kills, it's still forcing LGD.cdec to kind of sit back and just wait for the potential of those ganks, and it gives them more space to farm elsewhere. S is confident to push in top lane. Generally, you wouldn't see that against the Clockwork, but he's feeling like he's not too vulnerable to the cogs, or the hookshot as the clock's likely mid, which in fact he's right about. And now HGT smoke. But they don't have their Shaman. Now he's TP'd in mid, so he's going to look to join the team, and HGT prepping for an engagement. If they get off a good stomp, this could easily go their way. A bad one might turn against them.
And Doom really wants the mechanism right now. Only 500 gold off. Like, if the fight breaks out now...
Nice, he's going in. He's found Q, but the disruption's there actually on the Centaur. Now they'll Doom pretty hard on the Tusk, but with Stampede to get him out of this one, it's tough to kill him off. He's now brought low, but not finished off. The Wisp keeps him alive with the mech, the Tether, the Urn Charge, everything to keep him in fighting condition, and he's able to live. Centaur still waiting for the rest of his team to rejoin him, and so he could go in again. Stomp on 2. Double Edge. Great initiation from IC. Perfect follow-up. Now they'll slow, and they'll chase with the orb slowly splashing through. XH just barely moves. Look at the power of that Frozen Sigil. They can blink forward again. The Ice Shards...
And they're going.
They're going deep for Garter. All the way in. Straight to the Tier 3 tower. HGT making a full wipe. And then for good measure, the Polar Punch and creep up in the air. The Walrus has his way,
and the creep wave really obliges. Like, they had a triple wave here right for the Tier 3 tower. They can follow up with some nice structural damage. Not going to get the kill on it or anything, but very convenient. And getting the kill, diving, and then following it up.
And that's why Doom really struggles against Centaur. Like, he gets the Doom on the Tusk, and then, oh wait, just stampedes away. They hook to even follow it up, but the Wisp was there to keep him alive. You really have to Doom Centaur. The problem is, if you do that, then Viper runs rampant and the team fights now as a BKB. And, well, Tusker, I don't think he's that important to the team outside of Sigil, but he definitely offers them some nice utility at this stage of the game.
I think he's a lot more valuable if Clock was landing these hooks and getting the cogs. Right now they don't have any Force Staffs to prevent stuff, but oh boy.
Yeah, goodbye to Q. Easily picked off.
They're going to be able to kill somebody out of this.
CSMJ's going in. He's got BKB. Maybe we'll begin to drain damage from him, but not sure if it'll be fast enough. They roll in. Clockwork hooks in. It's a party in the Radiant Jungle. But maybe Stand Strong continue to lead CSMJ's damage. He got doomed. He'll give up a 1,300 gold bounty. The defensive relocate too late. He was still BKB'd. And, well, he'll end up going down. Now they'll lose their Wisp as well.
Yeah, in that position, like, once the Razor got the static link, the Viper didn't really have enough to contribute. He hasn't built really offensively. He's definitely gone for durability here, and yeah, the Tusks, just that whole engagement was great to get the lash, but it was ill-advised with the reinforcements ensuing. They still create space for the wards to do some nice chip damage on the top tier too, but they're in such control of the game that they could probably just Rosh and push it outright. So in the end, LGD.cdec are pretty happy to at least get a small foothold here, and maybe we'll be able to farm up a little bit more to get something relevant. Right now, it just looks like it's going to be Drums of Endurance, and that's not really going to change his state of affairs.
He's half the net worth of the Viper, even after that kill bounty going the way of LGD.cdec. The Doom got the last hit, which helps him, but ultimately, Doom is only going to take one of the enemy heroes out of the fight. He is not going to carry against this lineup of HGT. They have too many ways to control him. He's gone for utility items anyway. He doesn't have the right creeps to dish out damage, so that's where like you'd love if the Razor had managed to get the last hit there. Not that you can really plan on it in that situation, but I don't think a farm Doom is good enough, man. Even if they get a like, this is one of those few games where I would say even if they get a refresher egg, well, forget about eggs, refresher on the Doom. There's still Tether to help keep that hero alive. You still have the defensive relocate out. You have the Snowball to keep another hero alive. You have Stampede to get heroes out of fights. I don't even think Refresher is good enough on Doom, and that's assuming he gets one.
Yeah, that is, I mean, a lot of assumptions involved. But I would say if he actually starts dooming the Wisp, they might be better off in general, because he's just providing too much for us helping him out. But top lane, the relocate and the Stampede.
Well, maybe not getting his farm at this rate. He'll be picked off by 3. And the tower, well, at least going the way of the Razor. So he gets a bit of farm there, and he completes his drums, now banks 500 gold. But then right back to the Roche Pit, where they'll resume their previous work.
Yeah, so, I mean, they don't even flinch at disengaging from that, only to go right back into it. They are going to be able to claim the Roche. I mean, Clockwork might look for a snipe. Oh, no, that Rocket Flare is global. Never mind. I thought he was firing it from a little bit closer proximity, but it is going to be the Aegis on ZSMJ. So you look at this. This is a 9-second BKB, level 15 Viper with an Aegis, with Treads, with Aquila. I don't know. With anything behind him, any support at all, he's going to be able to just do so much work in the next fight. And yeah, XH, he just doesn't have really great options. Like he said, no matter who he dooms, there's going to be something to bail as a bailout. And I still think that Wisp is probably the best person that you can doom, considering he does have the Urn and the mech now.
I would agree with that. The Urn and mech carrier, and obviously it's just such a fantastic support hero to help allies live through the Doom. But you doom him, and I mean, it's got to be like a perfectly executed team fight. Hookshot catching out multiple heroes, Doom onto the Wisp, Razor able to get a full duration link off. Somehow they managed to kite the Stampede and the Snowball and the Sigil and just not get caught too badly by the Centaur. Yeah, it's like, I think you put it best when you just said it's a lot of assumptions for LGD.cdec. Like, a very long list of things that have to go well for them to even have a chance of taking a fight.
Yeah, definitely. Now, at the Secret Shop, we're going to see the point booster picked up. How do you feel about the Ags Rush from the Shadow Shaman here? I kind of feel like a Force Staff might have just been better for giving them utility against the clock. It kind of puts more responsibility on the Tusk with his Blink Snowballs, but obviously there's plenty of merits to picking up the Ags this early.
I really like Ags this game because HGT need more push. Like, they don't take towers that quickly without the Shaman wards, and obviously the Ags is an amazing upgrade for him, almost doubling the damage output, but at the same time, they do need a Force Staff versus clock. So I guess the Snowball and Tether kind of address that, but just having a Force Staff frees things up. So since he's not going for it, I'd really like to see someone else get it. Centaur has the gold for it, just finished a pipe, and just getting one Force Staff is decent against clock. 2 or 3 is ideal, but
what are they piping, to be honest? Like, they have the Shadow Poison, which if you get 5 stacks,
the Rocket, man.
Hurts,
the Rocket. Come on now.
Like, Lightning Storm, Rocket. I mean, Plasma Field, they all do have a bunch of little sources of damage, but I don't know. Like, I'm a proponent of pipe, don't get me wrong, but in this game, it's just like, okay, well,
we'll get to the high ground. There's your Hulk in on 2. BKB pop by the Vipers. He's going to charge forward. He gets Doom, though. They'll Doom the Viper, and yeah, time to disengage. Stampede was used there. They'll blink in. They whiff the Stomp, but there's not too much LGD.cdec can do to go in now, as they've already used their hook to initiate.
Look at ZSMJ's health bar. Boom. That gigantic friggin' heal, and he's right back up to full. That just completely negated the Doom, and they go right back in.
Yeah, no BKB on ZSMJ now, but still has the Aegis, still confident to go forward. They'll take down the tier 3. Viper Strike, I believe, was dodged there by the defensive disruption. No, still hit him right before it. Now the 2-hero stomp. Icy starting to create space for his team to move forward in this fight. Maybe now taking damage. It's a great split earth. It hits 4. 4 heroes caught by that one. As S gets caught off and killed off in the cogs. Double edge connected on 2, but it's LGD.cdec who have similarly good sustain. Pipe wearing off. They're all forced off the fight. And ZSMJ will lose his Aegis till they go back in for round 2. That's going to be the question. They've got the Tether here, and they'll look for the jump in for the stun. And it seems LGD.cdec don't really want to fight this, so they're going to forfeit a lane of Rex.
They got the mech back up in just a quick moment here, so he doesn't have mana for both Tether and mech, though. That's the annoying thing.
Such a long fight that Hookshot is cooled down, by the way.
Oh,
Hookshot's ready to go again. And they still haven't cracked the racks, but they're getting real close to doing it. CSMJ now losing his damage quickly. He'll Viper Strike maybe. He turns to fight someone else here in Q, but he's lost everything. He'll get relocated out just to break that goddamn tether. And now Stampede. Stampede is also cooled down for Icy. He used it at the start of this fight. 80 seconds later, he'll use it to retreat. He blinks to safety, but they're coming back. Relocating in. They'll re-engage. The static link's still going. Well, he still got the damage stolen, I should say. And CSMJ, finally that's gone. Well, BKB, he's getting poked by the Doom with that big red sword. That'll end it. They got the melee Rex, but man, what a tough battle it was. Gotta give LGD.cdec credit holding on like that, but wasn't enough to hold on to their full base.
Yeah, most definitely. A big deal there was how maybe got the like 120 damage steal from the Viper with his first life pre-Aegis, and that obviously lasts a really long time. The buff lasts 18 seconds. It's a really long time. Your Viper's doing pretty much squat for damage. So yeah, it's a hold. I mean, they're able to, even though the Doom wasn't that consequential, there were a lot of great cogs in there. Like you mentioned, the 4-man splitter was pretty huge, and they did get the good drain off. So they got enough to keep most of the base alive, but now obviously HGT not only have the melee racks, but they have the ward in the base. They have a lot of great vision. They know that nobody's pushing out anywhere, and they can assume that they're going to be moving as 5.
LGD.cdec smoke mid, and they're going to be baiting the Doom here, but that only works if HGT care about going for your heroes, and Hyper Glory Team does not. They care about pushing. They're going bottom lane, and don't have the Aegis this time around. That's the one thing they're lacking, but they do have more items piling up. The Viper now has an Ags and a BKB. They also have the Ags complete on the Shaman. And it's a Reaver picked up for the Centaur. So 3 big items. Hookshot in. Only on a creep, though. 333 tries to start this fight aggressively. Now Doom. Doom on the Viper. But he's already popped his BKB. Still will take some damage from this, but otherwise quite fine. And they polar punch the Clockwork. Take that, you Rattle Trap. He'll go down, and the chase begins in earnest. They've got a snowball ready to go. Will he gather a few teammates in for a dive? Nah, it doesn't seem like he feels the need to. They'll drop the wards. They lose about half of them, but still focusing this Rax. And now trapping in Q. There's your snowball forward, directly onto XH, finishing him off. Then the stomp coming in from Icy, attempting for another kill. Double-edging Q, bringing him down to 50 HP. Can't finish the job. Icy now on the retreat out. Stomp cooling down in 5. Second lane of Rax secure. Ags ult deployed. It's a buyback from the Razor and from the Doom just to try and hold, but it's already too late. The damage is here. Die back. 2 heroes stop. It'll be more heroes falling. Do they have an Ice Shards? GG. It's a rampage for ZSMJ.
Double rampage!
Double rampage. It'd be more impactful if the game had ever been close, but it was a beatdown. It's a triple rampage from ZSMJ.
Do me once, do me twice. He'll eat them all. The Wisp is able to just keep him up all the while, and it's a really good combo. Was kind of uncertain about how it would work with, of course, the safe lane farming Shadow Shaman and the roaming IO and Tusk, but you can't doubt that IO getting that mechanism at that timing wasn't just perfect for what they needed for their team fight in general. ZSMJ able to stay on the front lines, Wisp racking up 20 assists in this game. Ridiculous.
Triple Rampage puts a cherry on top, and with that, HGT improved their record in Starladder China to 5-1. If they win their next game, they will have only lost to Newbie. That means they would have taken down IG, Vici Gaming, LGD, and then all the other teams that are a little bit less known to the casual Western viewers out there. It's been a great run for them in Starladder. They're pretty much guaranteed a spot in the playoffs at this point. Can't see them not finishing top 4 after this win. And on that note, guys, that will conclude Starladder China. We take an hour and 20 minutes break, and then we return for Starladder Europe. Starladder Europe will have a bunch of great games today, which I don't know what they are. I'll let you know after the break, guys. We'll put the schedule up. Thank you for watching. All VODs at youtube.com/BeyondTheSummit.tv. Follow Blaze at BlazeCasting on Twitter. And with that being said, we'll be back soon. You're watching Beyond the Summit. Stay with us.